Well, this is going to suck if it's going to bounce all night. Jeez and crackers. Ah. Oh, Lord. I can't win for losing, or lose for winning. Oh, what's going on out there, world? Is there anybody out there? Oh, here I go again. And no, I'm not going there either. Oh, let's see. Uh-huh. Why is it that I can't see anybody? Hey, there they are. Hey, Rick. Hey, James. You're going to have to pardon this thing a little bit for whatever reason. I'm actually working on the bench. Um, and every time I do something, everything shakes. So, still working on some throwback stuff there, Rick. Hey, Dave, BNSF N scale. I got it out. I got it. I believe that's James Galton, right? I think I saw that on Sparky's channel the other night. But what we have here is another relic. I want to start calling these Throwback Friday or something. I just got to figure out how the heck I'm going to hook up to this thing to be able to get it to run where I can clean the wheels. This is an old AHM, not quite as old as the ones I was working on the other week, but it's still an old. What's that? Throwback Thursday? Yeah, Throwback Thursday. Yeah, right. Dave's Hobbies and Things. Welcome aboard. Hey, Shane. Skullkill. What's going on, sir? Actually, it's an AHM. It's a Mahino. Same thing, Shane. You're very right about that. And yes, it runs. At least with the uh, power straight to it. But I noticed that the wheels need to be cleaned, so that's what I'm going to attempt to do here in a minute. I love this vice that I picked up from my father-in-law. This thing is great. You can position it however you need to. I had been sitting on, hey, the Carver. What's going on, man? Welcome aboard. Nice, James. I've got a couple of kits that I have to put together, James. But yeah, so I've got boxes of stuff sitting over here that have to be gone through. Some of this is going to be somewhat easy to fix. Some of these aren't going to be so easy to fix. So we'll see. We'll see what we got. This vice is a Brink and Cotton. I don't know how old it is. I don't know where it came from. The only thing I know is I got it from my father-in-law. When he passed away 2 years ago, we cleaned out his garage, and I found stuff that I could use down here, and this was one of them. It's a fairly heavy vise. It's actually got a suction cup to it to where you could go ahead and suction it to the bench. But the thing is heavy enough, and with the stuff that I'm doing, it's not that heavy, so it's not going anywhere. And as I was explaining earlier, folks, you're going to have to watch. I know that this thing is shaking. That's because I've got the laptop sitting on the bench that I'm actually working on, and for whatever reason, it's not. It's another one of those. I have no clue. I have no idea. So We had a retired member who donated his entire collection. I got set. Wow, nice. Yeah, one thing I don't have sitting over here that I have to work on, and it'll be the last thing that I'll work on. And I kind of mentioned it, I think, the other week on one of the other workbench nights. Um, what did I miss, Rick? I must have missed something. I'm glad you explained. I thought I had one too many. I must have missed something somewhere along the way. Hmm. uh, oh, the shaking. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I have no idea why it's doing that. Anyway, there is. Hey, humanity. There is one locomotive. This is mostly, in fact, these boxes are all locomotives. This box here and the one back. Um, the only locomotive that's not sitting over here that needs to be worked on is that Gem brass locomotive that I mentioned the other week. I'm not ready to mess with that yet. Um, so, it's one of those things. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can get these wheels cleaned up a little bit. This is a fairly interesting piece for being a Mahino AHM unit, and that's the fact that it's actually 8-wheel drive. The only thing it does sting is it's only a 4-wheel pickup, but it is 8-wheel drive. And boy, there was some dirt on that wheel. No, it's not sandpaper. No, it's not. It's not sandpaper, and it's not emery cloth either. It's a polishing cloth. And my father and I have used this stuff for years. Never had any type of a problem with it. The biggest thing that you have to remember is not to press. You just kind of let it glide. And trust me, it doesn't leave anything behind. It doesn't scratch anything. Like I said, it's a polishing cloth. Yeah, Shane. Actually, I picked this up years ago from a buddy of mine. Actually, one of the guys I work with. He had this stuff laying around. It was like, hey, I don't want it. Do you want it? And if there's anything in there that you want, keep. If not, throw it out. I'm like, okay. So that's kind of what I did. Is I went through and I kept a bunch of the stuff that was worth something. Well, I kept a bunch of stuff. Period. But this was really the only. Well, this was one of 2 or 3 locomotives. The other ones, I'm going to get to them in a minute. Trying to see if I can figure out what the heck is down in there. I think I know what it is now. There's something. Okay, there we go. I think we'll be all right now. Yeah, the other thing that's fairly odd with this, I don't know if it was factory or something that the fellow had put on after the fact. Hook this back up. And this is something else that really in reality will need to be fixed down the road, but for the time being, it makes it fairly easy for working on the locomotive. Oh, come on. The roof comes off. But what I was getting ready to mention is, as soon as I get this somewhat back together, and it's going to fight me tooth and nail. Yep. There we go. Now, this poor thing is unfortunately somewhat beat up. But considering its age, I guess it is what it is. Anyway, one of the interesting things with this T&B Steamer Hudson. Not quite sure what you're asking there, James, but anyway. This locomotive has actually got a flashing light in the middle of the cab. I have no idea if that was factory or if that was put in after the fact. I've never done any real research to see what the deal was with that, so it is kind of what it is. You have 3 of these? James? I'm going to put him in the box to be put over at the layout. Let's see. What do I want to play with next? Let's see if I've got the parts for this, because I have no idea what I might have done with them. Oh, 3 AHM steamers, Hudson, nice. Nice. I've actually got one, and that's a 210-2. Painted up for the Baltimore and Ohio. I've got to see if I can find the cover for that. I seem to have misplaced aha. Got one. The only thing I need to do that's not going to work. There's one of my KDs. And there's that. Ugh. Nice. Nice, James. Yeah, I tell you what, that 210-2 that I've got, that's an interesting locomotive. I actually paid, I want to say I paid $40 for it. Came from a friend of mine. But I'm going to get off of the, get out of there. Um, it was something that I wanted, and he was looking to just let some stuff go. So I was like, you know what? Let me do some research. I'll make you a fair offer. So I did some research and I made him an offer because when I first saw it, it wasn't running. So I had to do a little bit of work to it to get it to go, but I got it, and it's a nice running locomotive now. Well, that stinks. I'll take a look into that maybe. Do 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 do. Yes, folks, you're actually seeing your eyes are not deceiving you. I am actually putting a KD coupler on the back of this locomotive. And the reason being is the fact that this locomotive happens to be for the home road, but it has always carried, for the most part, actually up until I think it was about a year ago, I switched it out. It always used to carry or pull 3 Baltimore and Ohio cars, and those 3 Baltimore and Ohio cars, I think I may have shown them before, are KD. So, daggone it. Figures the one piece that I really can't afford to run off on me is the piece that ran off on me, and that's the coupler cover. Ah. Where did it go? The second time I've had one of those stinking things go flying on me, and I can't find it. After it's decided to take off on me. I hate these freaking things. I really do sometimes. Let me see if I can fish out another one. Problem is these are starting to get a little light. Hey, Sparky. Yeah, I've done lost my mind a long time ago, Sparky. That is a given. Yeah, it definitely went into the Never Never. I have no idea where it got off to. Like I said, these stinking things drive me nuts. Why Athearn ever did it this way, I have no idea. Yeah, the vacuum will find it. Yeah, pretty much. What the freaking? Well, that time it was the coupler. Oh. Yeah, make sure to shop vac 70 before I start. Yeah, pretty much. I'm just trying to figure out why. Okay, so it'll snap on here without the coupler spring or the coupler. Right. Hey, Grandpa Rails. What's going on? This is starting to frustrate the living heck out of me. I do not understand why this thing is not. There it goes. Hey, finally. And there was much rejoicing. Ugh. I've got an easy way of measuring. Never mind, I'm not going to touch that. Hey, Jerry. Well, somebody I think had asked about. I think this particular locomotive, or I mentioned this particular locomotive the other week, and I know the lettering's coming off. That's because I never sealed it. Or. Anyway, um, this here is a this is an Athearn PA1. It happens to be the only locomotive that's actually painted for the home road. Um, so, and its only issue was the fact that the coupler had come off. and kept coming off. So this one's now straight. It can go ahead and start pulling those wonderful Baltimore and Ohio passenger cars that I've got. So that can go back to the layout now. Yay! Woo! You idiot. What did you close it for? Rules were made to be broken. Absolutely. Look at me. N scale. N scale? Who said anything about N scale? N scale? No. HO scale. Oh, it's HO scale. Let's see. Who else have we got in the grab bag? Is my buddy Rodney in tonight? Did Hot Rod make it over, or did he disappear? I guess he didn't make it in tonight. Super N. Okay. I'll wait and see if Rodney shows up. Rodney who? Oh, let's see here. This one here ought to be an easy fix as well. Maybe. Yep, there we go. SD24. This, I forgot who the manufacturer was on this one, to be honest. But every once in a while, I'll go ahead and I'll have this. I had this locomotive actually pulling the Crescent Limited every once in a while. It's actually a really good running locomotive. I just don't remember who the manufacturer is. I really don't remember off the top of my head. Can you see it? Is it up there? I'll just go ahead and put him in the box. Oh, here we go. Here's a good relic. Any guesses? I know what kind of a unit it is. I know what the locomotive is. But does anybody have any ideas of who the manufacturer might be? It says Tyco up there. Where did you see Tyco? You got you still have hair cover that spot. Thanks, Grandpa. Appreciate that. Unfortunately, most of it's gray. I keep telling my daughter it's because of her, but she doesn't believe me. You know what there, Jerry? You're good because it's an old man to a Tyco unit. And I'm trying to remember what exactly the deal was with this, and I have a feeling it probably just because of its age, it just wasn't running right. Which wouldn't surprise me. This locomotive, I think it did run from time to time, but it would like take it 5 minutes before it would start moving, and then all of a sudden it would take off like a rocket. All right, there's full power. Come on. Oh, it's going in the wrong direction. Well, it seems to be working here. I have to take that one back over to layout and find out what the deal was, but yeah, not exactly the most detailed locomotive, and more than likely this is from the 60s, if it isn't older. These things are a complete pain in the rear to work on. Unlike the newer locomotives where you can just pull the frame out from under the shell and be able to get to everything, these have got screws down inside that you have to actually pull everything apart. They're a mess. I don't like messing with them if I don't have to. Let's see, we were going to leave that off to the side. What was the deal with this? Oh yes, the wonderful old pancake motors from Bachmann. One nice thing with this one here is it almost looks like it's got a DCC board, but it's not. And I know what that sound is. That is a bad gear. Yeah, this is a Brink and Cotton. I'll go ahead and spin it around here. It's a Brink and Cotton Vice. Unfortunately, when my father-in-law passed away a couple years ago, we were cleaning out his house, and this was one of the things that I found. And actually, on the side here it says Wilton, but this thing is really nice. You've got the base. Let me go ahead and try and bring this down a little bit, because the base, you can actually swivel it off to one side, off to the other side, or if you've got the cut piece in the right spot, you can actually, swing it forward, or you can actually go ahead and drop it on its back. I had actually used this in an earlier video when I was doing the work on the switches that I had. When I had the issue with the switches that were losing connectivity, I'd actually used this when I was rewiring them, because I could go ahead and manipulate it, move it, so on and so forth. And it's a heavy son of a gun, let me tell you. It's a small thing, but it's got to weigh a good 5 pounds. Nice vice. Yeah, it's a nice piece, and I'm glad I was able to hold on to it, to be honest, along with some other things. These that you see me running around with every so often came from him as well. This is one of 2 pairs that I have. The other pair is actually up in my garage in case I have to do anything up there, which eventually, once I get my my airbrush station set up in the garage, that's where that's going to sit, so that way I can go in there and make it, I can actually see the details, make sure I got everything. Because as you can tell, I don't wear glasses normally, but when I'm working on a computer or working on this kind of stuff, I want to be able to see a little bit better. So they're only, I think they're like 1.25 or something like that. Reading glasses. Let's see here. Stupid mustache. I gotta shave my mustache, or trim it, not shave it. God forbid. Wife didn't hear that. If I shaved it, she'd disown me. Oh, let's see. Somebody pop in that I miss? Oh, no. Yeah, Dave BNSF was in here a little earlier, but apparently he must have dropped out for a bit, and he's back. Okay. I'm not too sure about this locomotive. I don't think I've ever seen anything painted up like this before. It's supposed to be a Rock Island unit, but I don't think I've ever seen a prototype that looked like that. So I got a feeling that this was hand done. But this, I forgot what kind of a frame this was on. This may have been on an old Tyco frame as well that blew up. So it's been converted to it's been moved over to a lifelike pancake motor frame. Ooh, what an upgrade! Not. No soup for you. Uh, hey, Dave. Piper. Okay, Dave. This all right now. Wait a minute. There's too many Daves in here. 1 1/8. 1 1/8. Okay. Hmm. I think we'll just go ahead and put that back on the layout and see if he'll do anything. If he does, great. If he doesn't, back in the box as far as that goes. Now this one, oh, 11. I'm sorry. I got to get used to that. Thanks, Rick, for explaining. Yeah, or sorry, Grandpa. Thanks for, well, actually, both of you explaining. Oh, man. Yeah, I know. I need to wake up. Thanks, James. Appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, everybody's a critic. I can tell you that this locomotive, at least the shell, is an old Williams. Believe it or not. This is, I believe, an F3. Um, it's a halfway decent shell. It's one of the reasons why I've got it, on a completely different frame. And this happens to be, this looks to be an old AHM frame, another AHM frame, and this is an 8-wheel drive. Probably another one of those 4-wheel pickup, 8-wheel drive locomotives. And I think the reason why I've got this particular shell sitting on this particular frame is this may have had either a Burlington Northern or it may have had a Santa Fe frame on it or shell on it at one point in time, and I think the Burlington Northern shell came apart on me. Look at Wagner's tail. Yeah. I have heard of Cox. In fact, I think I may actually have one of them. One of those, Grandpa. Don't ask me where it is, but I think I had one. And in reality, this may have been this. Yeah, it likes me. This may have actually been a Cox and not a Williams. It's been so long since I've taken it apart. I think I've still got the old frame sitting somewhere. Don't ask me why. Let's see here. This one here says it's got a bad gear. Oh, another U-boat. Yeah, I seem to have nice, nice. I don't know why I bothered doing that. This is only a two-wheel drive locomotive, or it's only a four-wheel pickup, and that's all in the rear. Let's see what we get with this guy. Oh yeah, I'd say that there's a problem. Hey, Dwayne, I know you're not being ignored. Never being ignored, dude. Unfortunately, but yeah, butt wiggles. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't get. I'm with me working on here. I can't exactly see everything. I can't do both. I'm not that talented. Yeah, that's definitely got a bad gear in here. Hey, Dunk. I think I'm going to put him off to the side, but the other one that's got a bad gear, I'll come back to those because I got to see if I know up here in my boxes of stuff or my I've got spare parts and these little things, and they're sitting up on the shelf, but I'm not going to go digging through everything at the moment to see if I can find them. Oh boy. Yeah, this ought to be interesting. Hey, John. Oh, Tom's Trains and Things. Welcome aboard. Howdy, howdy. Okay. Now that wasn't nice. Tom and Jerry. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Now I know why this was in the junk box. That's cute. Somebody long before me. Somebody long before me has messed this thing up something fierce. Huh. They actually had it glued at one point so that it would stay on the truck. I'm not going to do that because if you do that, then you can't get in to do any type of maintenance on the thing. I'm going to have to see if I can't find some way around that. Not that I haven't done that in the past, but that would explain why it was sitting. Like I said, it was sitting in a box that I hadn't really messed with. Looks to be another F3 or F7. I was going to say, I'm right up the road from Annapolis. All right, so that's another one that I'll have to do a little bit more work on. I'm going to need the glasses for that. Really, I'm just north of Baltimore. I'm up in Towson, John. Right outside 695. I'm trying to put the sunshade back on the side of this BL2. That I managed to. I'm constantly knocking these daggone things off. All right, there it is. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Or it could just be Run and Hide. Let's see if this thing has still got its. Did I miss the special conversation tonight? Not so far yet, humanity. Not so far. Proto 2000 BL2 Lifelike. This one here had a bit of a smoking issue. No, Rick, it's the sewage pipe. That's not gonna work. Oh, there's Rodney. uh, I just kind of wing it there, humanity. Aha. I see he says the blame him as he picked up his hammer and saw. The only thing of it is what I really need. I guess, and I buried when I was trying to clean things up earlier. Well, I at least try. And we're going to see if we can get this thing looks better with the visor. Come back here, you silly English knicket, so I can taunt you a second time. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't see anything in the chat with this thing down, so that's probably a good thing because you guys are probably, going ahead and saying something about the North Pole or the South Pole or whatever. Sort of. Again, I think that this power pack just doesn't have enough rear end. To actually get this locomotive to go. Yeah. Searching for the dilithium crystals. Right. I've given her all she's got, so even if I have to get in push. Oh, we'll come back to that one. That one there has been in and out of the screwed up box a couple different times. But since Rodney's here, hey Bob, how's the East Post? You know what? See, Rodney, I've got something sitting on the bench that I think you'd be familiar with, or that you're looking for. And I was going to put it up here, but I'm having second thoughts now. Well, the reality is I've only got really two more, and one of them I'm not going to fool with, and the other one needs to be glued. So I'm not going to mess with that. But the box in the back, we're going to get into that one here in a minute. But the other E60 CP or CF. Sorry, not CP. It's the other E60 CF. You know what, Rick? Jeez. Man, I tell you. Well, I had it right the first time. Yeah, this is one of the other two E60 CFs that I've got. I'm not sure if this one runs or not. And I'm going to say no, but it could be because of the fact that I'm not on the right pickup wheels. Or maybe I am. Kind of odd. No, I'm thinking that the light bulb kind of burnt out on me. But it wasn't running. Now it is. Well, it doesn't actually sound too bad. The thing is, that's running right off the motor. Let's see if we can get it to run off the wheels. And it's not. Oh, that's why, because one of them's in the front and one of them's in the rear. Yeah, I think the only thing that's wrong with this one now is the fact that the light went south on it. That's what it looks like. Anyway, Melvin, welcome aboard. I think we might actually give that one a test on the layout and see what happens. Yeah, well, what it is they got a red wire. They got a red wire from the front truck to one post and a red wire from the rear truck to the other post. I don't know. Typical Bachmann. Typical Bachmann. Let's make things as confusing as they possibly can be. Now, if I could just go ahead and get the wires back in here, we'll be in great shape. Not pinching them. They're not going to know what to think. They're not going to know what to think of the wallpaper. Right. Oh, an inventor used to live here. Oh, what are those spots? The inventor. Oh, that's terrible. Actually, give me a minute. Now, you want to talk about a botch? You know, like I was saying before, I've got 3 of these E60 CFs. One of them's brand new in the box. I'm not doing anything with that one. The one that I just put away over here, obviously, is the second one. This ugly duckling is the third one. I don't know what somebody was thinking. I really don't. And it's not even a good paint job. I mean, this thing's a bit ridiculous. Eventually, I'll strip it down and you know I'll figure it out. This is another E60 CF. This one here happens to be custom painted. I got it this way. It's somebody, yeah, somebody just went and I don't know. Like I said, this is the way it was given to me. I'm not even sure the darn thing runs, to be honest. It's the Tropicana engine. Pretty much. Pretty much. I think what I actually had done at one point is this is the mechanism that actually belongs under the one that I just was just messing with. Did I pay extra? Did I pay extra for that? No, I didn't pay money for this. Trust me, I wouldn't have paid money for this. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. This one here, hey, the light works. Oh, American Mako. It's trying, I think. It's sending out Morse code. It's funny because it actually is. It actually is rolling underneath, but it. Oh, there it goes. Heck, this one actually sounds better than the last one. Well, that was the thing, Rodney. Like I said, I've got that one that I showed the other week. That's still in the box, but I have that I've run once, and I put it back in the box. So that's basically a Mint locomotive. These two, this one and the one I just got finished messing with, I figure if nothing else, out of the two of them, I can make at least one good one. I may even end up, if I ever get around to it, I may actually even end up making one of these a dummy, which would be funnier than heck to see two of these things sitting there back to back. But, you know, like I said, because of the fact that I'm not going to be doing overhead electric any ability to run from overhead, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to put that one off to the side, and we're going to go ahead and let's see. This one here, those irk the crap out of me. And I got to figure out, I got to remember how this thing comes apart so I can try and fix it. This is a Bachmann GE 44 tonner. Well, that's what I've already done, Bob. I mean, I've already swapped the frames underneath of both of those. And, you know, it's like one day one of them will run really nice and the other one won't run. But, you know, yeah, I know, Rodney. I know. I know you've been looking for one. Hit it with a hammer, it'll come apart. No, I don't want to mess with. I don't want to take this and hit this one with a hammer. I'm just trying to figure out why it keeps. You picked a fine time to leave me loose, wheel. Oh, sorry. I'm not sure why the side frame and the wheel on this one here keeps coming off. All right, where's my gauge? Take a picture of it before you take it apart. I've got a pornographic memory. I'll photographic memory. I'm fine. Later, Sparky. Oh man, let's see. Do I dare try to? This is one of the funkiest little setups I think I've ever seen. Because there's really no room to put anything inside of this thing. I mean, literally, there is no room. Let's see here. But it ran. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, I can relate there, Bob. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's fascinating. We only want to run in one direction? Oh, ouch. Jeez. I could go elsewhere for this abuse. Of course, it wouldn't be as much. It wouldn't be as much. Wouldn't be as much fun if I went someplace else for this abuse. But hey, oh, did you actually did find one there, Rodney? Because I know the other day I actually found one, but it was painted up for the Santa Fe. Uh, Later, James. I'll have to take a look at that one. That's a Milwaukee. That's odd. I've never seen one in the Milwaukee colors. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. The only ones, like I said, the only ones that I've seen, yeah, that one there is a little bit bright. Well, that's not a Bachman unit. That was somebody else. I don't know. I've never heard of that manufacturer before. Cool. Thank you. I can hang with that. My thumbs up was for the. Wow. Sheesh. Really, humanity? Jeez. Man, I tell you what, it's a tough crowd. No respect. No respect. And the only question is when I go and put this thing back together, do I actually have it in the right direction? Yeah, I'll put it on a layout. If it goes in the wrong direction, I'll know. But I got to take it back apart and put it in the other way. Oh, Pennsylvania Northwestern. Evening. Container Man 68, good evening, even though you've been picking on me for a few minutes now, but that's okay. That's all right. All right. Well, that one's ready to go back on the way out. The big dude. Bachman 484. And for some reason, this one here, the drivers got out of sync. Which obviously isn't good. And obviously, I still have some sort of an issue going on here. Yep, didn't look at the driver on this side. All right. Oh no, it's not a diesel. This is actually this is a steam engine. This is a 484. This is a kind of a streamliner, I guess. Have a good one there, Dave. Yep, there it goes. See, that's the issue with this one here. For some reason, it just wants to come it just wants to get out of sync. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got a whole bunch of comedians in here tonight. Sheesh. Yeah, well, the thing of it is getting them synced is one thing, keeping them synced is another. And for some reason, what it is the wheel just wants to, the wheels just want to keep popping. And I don't. I've had this issue with this locomotive before. What really gets me is it's not keyed. It's just not staying. The wheel in the back. It's not so much as not staying in the sync. It's the gear in the back just isn't holding the wheel in place. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take it apart and see why the one wants to keep popping out of place. Like I said, I've had issues with this. I've had issues with this locomotive before, and I actually had to get parts for it. They don't make the parts for it anymore. But there was a fella, and I don't remember his name. He made gears for this thing, and I actually went ahead and got the gears for it. But I'm thinking what happened is it just it's got another issue, and I got a feeling I'm gonna have to go through my boxes up here and see if I've got another set of gears. If not, I hate to say it, it would make an awfully nice display piece. You know, I mean, it's a nice looking locomotive. I've always liked the locomotive, um, but one of the reasons why I got it cheap is the fact that it wasn't running. I only paid $5 for it. And I think I put another $5 in parts on it. I'm not going to fool with that. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Talk about antiques. This is an old Penline unit. Thing is I don't think I'm ever going to run this on the layout. Why? Because the gear is exposed. You know, this thing is just not gonna. Well, not to mention the fact that it's missing a traction tire. My goodness, it's missing two traction tires. This is an 8-wheel drive locomotive. Huh. Weathering. You know what, Jack? Jack, you're right. It's older than me. It definitely is older than me. There's no question. Probably older than a lot of folks in here. But you ain't gonna believe this. It runs, or it was running for a minute. Yeah, it's it. This is one that came in that box of stuff where that brass locomotive was. Wow. Yeah, you know what works well for traction tires on these actually, really in reality, is is eyeglass rubber bands. Believe it or not, I've never actually been into this locomotive at all. Okay. Wow. Really? Something seems to be a bit kind of whack in here. I hope it doesn't blow up. No, but this thing, there's an issue with the front truck. There's something weird going on with the way that this thing is set up. It's like it's almost like the shaft is too long because it won't sit straight. I don't know what I don't know why that is. I'm gonna have to dig into this one a little bit deeper, and of course, then again, with the age of this thing, I probably really don't want it running on the didn't want it run. I don't want it running on the layout anyway. But not to mention the fact that whoever re-rigged this thing did not do a very good job with the coupler or anything else. So that one here will be one for a future. We'll mess with that one later type of deal. Yes, another never-ending. I don't think it's the frame. The frame looks pretty straight. It's the way that the way that the gears are sitting in there. Oh, here's another relic. Another one of those ones with an open gear. I don't know how well it's going to show up. I'm not going to bother with that one right now either. Oh, they yeah, I tell you what, it just gets better and better every shot. Get a load of this dude. Jeez. Talk about wide open. Really? Another blast from the past. Let's see what we got going on here. I don't believe this. I don't know what manufacturer this thing is, but this thing's got to be older than the hills, and it still runs. I think it is AHM. I believe that this is an old AHM unit. I'm trying to figure out what it says. It looks like it says made in MAR. You know what? This might actually be an old Revell unit. To which that would be unique because I've got a couple other old Revell units and they don't look anything like this. Definitely says made in the USA, and my gosh, is there dust all over the inside of this thing? Wow. It says made in the USA MAR. Anybody have any ideas to who MAR is? Marks? Marks. Possible. This one's a new one on me, folks. Just a little bit of fuzz. There is some garbage up inside of here. Holy moly. Hey, you know what? It very, very well could be. It very well could be Marks. Made in the USA. Wow. Yeah, what it is actually, you know what it is, Rodney? Looking at it a little bit deeper, it says MAR, but then it looks like it's got the X behind it. So that's why I'm thinking it might be Marks. No, Marks did dabble in HO at one point, and I think Revell actually took him over before Revell got bought out. Well, I'm trying to remember how it went. I think Marks had dabbled, then Revell bought them out. Then Revell bought out Varney, and then somebody, I think it was actually Lionel. Yes, it is brass. Well, the running gear is brass. I mean, that's as far as I want to take it apart. Marx's model power. That's possible. It's possible because the only reason why I say that, Rodney, is and I'm not sure it's sitting. No, it's not sitting over here. Give me a second. Since I'm digging up relics for the youngins in here, they're gonna love this. Yes, it says Revell. And yes, Revell made locomotive HO gauge locomotives back in the day. This is probably from the 50s, late 50s, early 60s. Um, I'm trying to see if there. I think at one point in time I actually did have a date on this. This was one of my father's locomotives. This thing is really neat when you open it up. This is actually an F7. This is a Revell, but you probably ain't going to see too many like this. Unfortunately, well, I might be able to get it to go in a little bit. Give me a second. Let's see if I can zoom this in a little bit. Come on. This locomotive, like I said, is an old Revell. Whoops. Daggone it. This freaking laptop, and I cleaned it up this afternoon too, so that way it wouldn't act goofy on me, and it's still acting goofy on me. This, like I said, this is an old Revell. They overbuilt everything. I mean, back in the day, they just over this thing is just way over engineered. Um, you've actually got a this has actually got a clutch. As somebody had went ahead and had mentioned on an earlier one when I mentioned what this locomotive was, I always thought it was a flywheel with a just a it was just a fly. No, it's not a flywheel. It's actually a centrifugal clutch. So when the motor spins, it gets up to a certain RPM, it catches this, and it spins the rubber band. That yes, it's a rubber band drive. It goes the rubber band. This thing is outstanding. Trust me. Actually, I'm not going to do it that way. We're going to do it this way. Let's see if I can uh, figure out which one of these is on the frame and which one of these is not on the frame. I think this one here is not on the frame. I might be able to. No, I'm not going to be able to do it that way. Yep, okay. I got it. Is it DCC ready? This thing was built long before that. If you notice the light, well, that's why you guys can't see the light. Yep, wrong direction. Yeah, the unfortunate thing is the rubber band has stretched, but yeah, it's still driving the wheels though. Is it a candle for a light? No, 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 not quite. The duct tape is actually on there because of the fact that I never cut the wire back for the light bulb. The light bulb used to be one of these old screw-in models that goes on the front. I could never find another one, so I went ahead and just put a normal bulb in here. Unfortunately, the bulb's obviously is a little too bright. But this thing weighs a ton. And when we used to run it on the layout, when we used to lay out on the run it on the old layout, this thing would pull forever and a day. Yeah, there is duct tape on the front. The duct tape on the front is basically holding the wire. It's holding the wire in place. That's all it's there for. I got lazy when I was reworking the thing and just never cut the wire down. But like I said, even at that, the light's too bright for it anyways. One of these days, I'll go and get a different light bulb for it. No, the duct tape is not original. No, the duct tape is not original. I think I actually, like I said, I think at one point in time when I looked this up, I think it was from like 1956. Let's see if I can't get this thing. There we go. It would power a drill. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. This here's a display piece. I don't run it on the layout anymore. One of the reasons being is I actually went to see if I could find parts so that way I could run it. And even the locomotives that I found for parts, no, they they weren't even good for that. So it is what it is. Could you use it as a hammer? Yeah, probably could. I don't think I'd want to. No, I know what's wrong with that. Okay, I know what's wrong with that. Put that one back over there for the moment. Probably the same thing that's wrong with all four of these. They just need their wheels cleaned real good. These little DDTs. I have a Lionel HO locomotives that have smoke. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, here's a rarity, even though it's an Athearn unit. Anybody familiar as to what that is? I'll be right back because I got something else I'm going to pull in here. Hey, Shane. Bingo. I think that's another one of those locomotives that never was. Or at least not in this. But that's okay. Because this locomotive is not going to stay in this paint scheme much longer. It will eventually be painted up for the home road. Along with my mashup locomotive, which is sitting somewhere over here. Oh, you know what? I forgot about this dude. Might as well go ahead and don't see in Santa Fe very often. Yeah, this here I picked up at a train show a couple years back, and then when I finally did some research on it and found out what it was, I was like, wow, okay. The only unfortunate thing of it is it didn't come with any type of rails, which is one of the reasons why eventually I'm going to get with that buddy of mine that gave me the 3D printer, because I'm actually going to print up some rails for this thing. This will be another locomotive that'll get painted up for the home road. Somewhere along the way, in all the stuff that I was given or I picked up, I found an undecorated F7. So eventually, this one will become painted for the home road as well. At some point, once I get my airbrush together. Yeah. Well, the I don't know if you were on earlier or not, Humanity, but I did this one. It also happens to be the locomotive that shows up when you go to my YouTube channel. I actually painted this one. Let's see, 93-ish. The F unit was a superpower. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Shane, that was a superpower. This, I tell you what, for my first airbrushing job, Humanity, this thing, I think to me it turned out pretty good. It still had some issues, and one issue that you can tell that it's got, I didn't have decals for it. So what I ended up doing was using press type letters. You know, the ones that you used to go ahead and with a pencil go ahead and scratch on. That's what's on here, and I'd never sealed it, so the letters are peeling off. And unfortunately, my letter set, I'm out of letters. So eventually, I'm going to go ahead and get some normal decals for this. But I love I Somebody years ago, when I showed this off in Model Railroader in their old bulletin board, gave me grief because of the fact that it wasn't painted prototypically. And I'm like, huh? Really? I could have swore that back in the 50s, back in the 40s and 50s, they were painting locomotives like this. And then, of course, I've got that nickel plate set from Robert Sacco a couple years ago, and I mean that's got a an all paint scheme on it as well. I was like, well, so what's the deal, man? Really? So that was right before I got off that bulletin board. Of course, that was long before what we're doing now, but and of course it was another one of those things. The reason why I kind of left Model Railroader alone, the magazine company. The other thing of it is hey, it's my railroad. If that's that way I want my locomotives painted, then that's the colors I want them painted. The Beauville and Newtown is supposed to be a subsidiary of the Chessie system. That's the reason. That's one of the reasons for the colors. The other reason for the colors is the fact that it represents the high schools that my father, my grandfather, and my two brothers graduated from. In Baltimore City, my grandfather graduated from a school called Baltimore Polytechnic. Their colors were blue and orange, which is the blue and the orange. My father and I graduated from Baltimore City College, which was black and orange. The top is black, and of course, you got the orange. My two younger brothers graduated from a school in Baltimore County called Perry Hall High. Perry Hall High is blue and gold, or blue and yellow. So that's the reason why it's painted that way. Two reasons. Yeah, exactly. That's the way I felt, Rick. And after that and a couple other things that was said, I was like, you know what, the heck with it. I don't need this frustration. I got enough. I know that I got enough things going on. I don't need to get into some sort of goofball garbage with somebody. It was just whatever. Anyway, I was talking about this the other night, and well, it's already falling apart. Well, there's one part of it. There's another part of it. I don't think it matters, to be honest. I thought it was prototypical. I really don't care. We were talking about my RDC set the other week, and I mentioned that I had another locomotive that was rubber band driven besides the Revell unit that was also an AHM unit. Well, there you go. This here happens to be a Santa Fe GP9, I believe, and it's rubber band driven. Unfortunately, the rubber bands are shot. I've got another package of them sitting back there, but that's not the real issue with this railroad or with this particular locomotive. The issue is these neat little black things that are here that are part of the shafting. Those are dry rotted, and because of the fact that they're dry rotted, and of course now for some reason, well, maybe it would work. Huh. The last time I messed with this, these little black pieces here were so loose that they were spinning, that the motor was spinning and it wasn't spinning the wheels. I wonder. Of course, it's only going to spin one set at the moment, but no, I was wrong. That's the front one. The front one's screwed up. That's what I thought, and I may end up doing that, Shane. The thing is this thing is so old. Again, it's a great showpiece because of its age. It's an antique, of course, like a lot of other things in this room. Anyway, did I say that? Yeah, I could probably fix it with a piece of heat shrink. But this belonged to a good friend of mine, and unfortunately, some things happened with him, and um, it's a shame. He ended up with having a stroke a few years back, and he left a few things to me. I mean, he's still okay. I mean, but he can't. He has a hard time talking and things of that nature. And he had left a couple of things for me to look at. And when I caught up with him a couple of years ago, I asked him about it. He said, "Don't worry about it. Just hold on to them for me." He said, "I'd rather, yeah, antique, including me, exactly, Container Man. You got it." He basically told me just to. He said, "I'd rather you have it." He said, "So," he said, "because I'm never going to be able to get into it." I'm like, "All right, fine." So this my grandfather bought me years ago, and this is supposed to. This is a King import, and this is probably, unfortunately, Granddad, sorry, this is probably one of the worst running steam locomotives I've got. The motor is in the back of the cab, so when this thing goes down the track, it does one of these numbers. It bounces. It's got tons of pulling power, but it just bounces. So I don't even run the thing anymore. I think this here was actually a predecessor to Mahino or Model Power. Uh, the problem, Rick, is the fact that they didn't leave you a whole lot of room to do that. That is a extremely small, slender boiler. And to tell you the truth, I don't know the last time I had this thing apart. But like I said, it says King on this on the box. This is actually a company that says it's Play Art, which I believe was a predecessor to Model Power. So you know, again, it's an antique. Again, kind of like me. Da, 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 dee, dee, dee. Well, I almost got through all the only thing I've got left. Well, the only thing I got left is everything. Sheesh. Those two locomotives I'm not going to mess with. That one I'm not going to mess with. That one I'm not going to mess with. Those I'm not going to mess with. This one here, probably not. Let's see what else we got in here. This one here, no, that's going away. The pen line unit, that one there can go into go over here because I'm not going to mess with it. Oh yeah, somebody else was saying something about steam locomotives. This there's going to be another display piece once I fix it up a little bit. This here was a locomotive I was telling you all about that my brother's actually got one that was thrown across the room because it didn't run worth a darn. Well, why did you pick one up? Because what, the 76, the Spirit of America. Yeah, I tell you what, I like the locomotive, but it just there was something about the way that this thing was set up by Tyco that it just never. This is the second one that I've had, and this one here runs about as bad as the first one I had. And the other issue that I've got with this one here is the fact that I believe the traction tire came off of it. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, it's still on there. Yeah, it's still on there. Yep, Tyco. I do have the passenger cars. The funny thing of it is they're being pulled by a lifelike uh, switcher, a little saddle tank, 1776. And the other 1776 set I have is the original 13 colony set that that lifelike put out. I've got that set as well. That's actually sitting over there. I had to think for a minute. Most of my sets are still boxed up. So, but yeah, I've got the three red roof passenger cars that go along with that train. But it's Tyco. It's a Tyco unit. I've got that'll be one of the other things I guess I'll have to mess with next, or go ahead and start breaking out. Cool. One of the sets that I wanted to get into and I never did, Shane, was the Tyco box cars. Um, the ones I guess it had what was it, Paul Revere's ride and the crossing of the Delaware, and I forgot what the other car was. I've only seen those cars rarely. I mean, literally rarely. Um, they usually don't show up very often. And I found something else out too. If anybody, yeah, I know. No, 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 no. The stuff is up off the floor, at least for the most part. I've got one or two things, but nothing. None of the expensive stuff is on the floor. I have the Paul Revere. There's three different ones. The other one is the Liberty Bell. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, what I was getting to, sorry, Shane, that's cool. I'd love to be able to find that set, but that seems like on Facebook, I'm a part of the Tychos, the underappreciated models, whatever. Um, every so often they do mention something or somebody will put up that they've got the set, and I'm like, man, that's the one set that that's one of the couple sets that I don't have. The other set that I just found out about that I didn't know anything about until recently, actually late last year, early this year, was Train Miniatures did a commemorative set with the original. I think it's the original 13 colonies as well. I've got all but three of those. I've got to find. I think it's the North Carolina, the Virginia, and I think there's one other. I've got it written down as to which ones I'm missing. But I'd like to be able to find the other three cars for that set. That one I don't think had a locomotive or a caboose with it, but it did have the box cars. I think for the Tyco one they did actually have um, the caboose uh, and the locomotive. Or yeah, for the Tyco they had the caboose, the locomotive, and the three or four car box cars, and those were those 50-foot box cars, the long suckers. You know what, Shane? That's the one, Rodney. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, the group that Brian C. Green has, and he posts up some really unique stuff from time to time. Shane, you and I might have to talk, my friend. We'll have to talk. Oh man, he's from. Oh, Brian's from North Carolina. Cool, cool. Yeah, I think Shane. I think you may have subscribed or friended me on Facebook. See, and that's one of the things I need to bring up in my next vlog too, because I actually went ahead and linked my Facebook page for the railroad to the YouTube channel, and I've been getting a lot of people requesting to become friends on Facebook, and I've been trying to make sure that when I look at who it is, to see if they know anybody else that I know in Facebook. In other words, I think I am friends with you on Facebook because a couple of people that have friended me, you were friends with them too. So it was like, well, yeah, I know who Shane is. Okay, not a problem. They're in the model railroading apparently as well. So I'll just but eventually I may have to go in and weed that out a little bit. I may have to go in and take a look and see who's there because right now there's a bunch of folks that have subscribed, friended me, but they haven't become a part of the group page on Facebook for the railroad. So that's one of the things I'm still going to go back and play. I just haven't had the time. Facebook is the devil. Yeah, tell me about it. Now I go ahead and I put stuff up on the railroad. It's just railroad stuff. Yeah, I kind of figure that, Rodney. That's cool. I hear you, humanity. I like I said that the I've actually got two profiles. One of them is my personal profile that I keep strictly for friends, family, things of that nature. And then I've got the one for the railroad, which is specifically for the railroad stuff. I don't use it really for anything else except for that because I just don't, it's just not, because I've got some folks that I'm friends with on Facebook that aren't on YouTube. And of course, I've got folks on YouTube that aren't on Facebook. So it goes both ways. I kind of figure even the folks that aren't on YouTube, they can still watch the videos. They don't actually have to be a subscriber. They can come in and watch. Case in point, I know Rodney. I think since you follow me, you know about Bill Sturgeon out in Indiana who does a lot of the kit bashing stuff. Um, I tell you what, I would love for him to go ahead and actually open up a channel because some of the stuff that he's done for his Elizabethtown and Benton Central, some of the things that he has pulled together is just unbelievable. And now he's starting to get into weathering, and his weathering techniques are just unbelievable. He is a talented son of a gun. I love reading through his stuff on his page. Well, and that's one of the things you and I had talked about once before too, Rick, is the fact that I was at one point in time thinking about just having this for me and then having a separate railroad thing, but I've got so much stuff up on here now. There's no way. There is absolutely no way I'd be able to move it. And then if I change my name, people would be like, "Who the heck is this guy?" Not that they know who I am now, anyways. But it's just. Yeah, I've seen those upgrades. I've seen those upgrades, Rodney, and I know that Brian does a lot of that. I know he does a lot of that, and I know that in talking to some folks, the work that he does to bring those old Tyco motors up to speed or up to the day's standards is incredible. And they run. That there was a video I think that he did of one of the upgrades. It was amazing to me how much better it ran. The funny thing of it is I had four of the old Tyco C whatever the heck they were. There was a Virginian, a Rock Island, um, a Silver Streak, and then one other one that I had. And unfortunately, I could never get the things to run right. And I had somebody that decided it may have actually been Brian that I sent them to in a trade for something else. Um, it was like, I've got no use for these things. They're just not realistic. I'm not into collecting the Tyco stuff, so I traded them off. But that is one of the things I do want to look at, though, because one of the locomotives that I picked up in this batch of stuff, and of course, I don't know, I think it's out in the other room still. Um, I got a Durango GP20 that's a Tyco that's missing that little gray gear up on the side of the motor. I might go ahead and contact him and see if he's got the parts, or if I could even send him the locomotive and have him upgrade the thing, um, and get it running again. Nice. Yeah, like I said, I know he's really good at what he does, and like I said, I've seen the work. So I mean, he knows what he's doing. He definitely knows what he's doing. At least with those, I mean, at least with those, I certainly don't. I like I said, I got tired of messing with them. I've got one other. No, that's not it. There's a Tyco. This has got one of those motors in it. The power torques basically takes up the whole shell. It's just the motor itself. Um, I forget what's wrong with this thing. I don't think this thing is running. Oh, I know it. I know what one of the problems is, and that's the fact that the couplers are stuck. I think somebody jammed the wrong stock couplers in there. But anyway, man, I've been at this for 2 hours. No wonder I'm. So, tomorrow night I'll go ahead and finish up this week's vlog, and there's a few things in there. Oh boy, Shane. People of Earth. Thanks for changing it for us mere mortals. Oh man. Yeah, I know, Rick. Sheesh. Yeah, I tell you what, Grandpa. This is no. I would. I couldn't figure out why the chair kept getting stuck, and then I found out why. It was from when I was cutting the wire for the for the track and all. I was letting the pieces fly, and Apparently, I kept running over part of the shielding or the jacket, and the chair kept getting stuck on it. I'm still editing my video. Don't do not leave yet. Oh, oh man, I got work to do. I got yard work to do tomorrow. Yay! Woohoo! Actually, tomorrow I got to do some running. That's what I got to do. I got to go to the grocery store. I got to go to the hardware store. I think I'm going to go ahead and try and stop off at the auto parts store tomorrow and see if I can pick up some more suitcase connectors so I can finish my wiring out here. I tell you, I am getting to the point, man. It's starting to uh it's starting to get to a point where I can actually really start testing stuff out. We can dance for rain. You wouldn't have to do the yard work. Well, gee, thanks, Shane. I don't think the wife would be very happy about that. Oh man. Yeah, I tell you what though, there are some things that are upcoming for this railroad that are going to be things are going to get fascinating. It really is one of the reasons why I wanted to go through the locomotives tonight. Is I'm really close to really being able to starting to put the track down permanently. Gotcha, Grandpa. You can have water out of my yard. It looks like the bayou out there. Oh Lord, I'm glad. The only thing I've got running through my backyard is only thing I got running through my backyard are deer and fox. that that's what I've got running through the backyard. That's one of the other things too. I keep saying I'm going to show off some other parts of this house. Um, Eventually I'll get there, but yeah, I know you can get them elsewhere, Rodney. I just want to I want to. Well, I shouldn't say I want to get it done. I want to get I want to have the parts on hand. I don't want to wait for them. Ain't supposed to be no gators. I would hope not in Ohio. Backyard, what is that? Yeah, well, yeah. I tell you what, humanity. I even grew up in the city, and we had. You know what, Rodney? It was kind of. You know what? It was kind of fun earlier picking on cousin Vinny though. I was having a ball with that. I didn't realize he was a former sailor. See, us squids are got to stick together. You know, us old squids are going to stick together. Oh man, show us some metal. You know what? Yeah, actually, humanity. I've actually got a fairly large backyard. Oh man. Well, gentlemen, to all 10 folks that are watching, one of these days he's going to start ripping out posts and making that. Oh, you're funny. Oh man, it'd be nice if it actually showed you how many viewers you. Oh well, not so much how many viewers you had, but what the names of the viewers were. What did I miss, Grandpa? um, um. uh, anyway, I'm still listening. Hey, Dave. And we had a whole bunch of Daves in here at one point. Whole bunches of Daves. There were too many Daves. uh, anywho, run the train on the fence post. You know what, Rodney? All right. 2.5 hours, or 2 hours and 15 minutes. Sorry. She's a whiz. Gentlemen, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. But after 2 hours and 15 minutes, you all know the deal. Wait for the high ball. Green tracks ahead. We'll catch you all next time. Be safe. God bless. See ya.